on, load.
Have you connected to Wi-Fi? All right.
Yeah. So I've just realised we're out of cacao nibs. And I put it in the description, so it won't be sprinkled with cacao nibs. I suppose we've got flaked almonds, I could do that. Or chocolate chips. Hello everyone. Let's get this. Okay, we're making coffee cake today. However, I can put that on there in a second. It's better. I can see on the screen now. Okay, so the recipe is in FFS, but I don't want to make this much mix because I'm using little cupcake cases instead of a big tin. So I'm going to follow the quantities of the vanilla muffins in WTF, but use the amount of coffee that FFS suggests, which is why I've got both books out. Promise me it's not complicated. Okay, there are two versions of this recipe. You can either do the original or the nut-free. We actually prefer the taste, the texture more of the nut-free one, so that's what I'll be using. That uses coconut flour instead of ground almonds. You can't swap ground almonds and coconut flour like for like, but this is one of those recipes where we've been able to work out how you can use just coconut instead of the ground almonds, which is usually what is used. So, the first is just the eggs and cream in a bowl. This is a really, really easy cake recipe because it's just eggs, cream, the flour of choice, and then your flavouring, so your sweetener, your vanilla extract, in this case coffee, and baking powder. Don't forget baking powder. So 3 eggs. If you're using the ground almonds version, it's just 2. But who's watching? I can see people are on, but no one said hello yet, so come and comment hello. Okay, and double cream, so 130 grams. Hi, Nicola.
Nice.
Is it looking good?
Yeah. It's just going to get nice and crispy now.
So if you saw our post from earlier, we've got a nice pork joint in the grill, making some pulled pork. I've made like a barbecue sauce, literally just with tomato passata, the barbecue blend, and a bit of salt. So that's going to go with it. So it's a bit of an oversized whisk for the bowl, but it's that or a tiny one, so we're using the big one. Eggs and cream whisked together, and now it's the dry stuff. So coconut flour. Now trust me with the measurement of coconut flour. Some people go 40 grams. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Don't add any more, otherwise you'll have rock cakes, not cupcakes. So it's probably best if I get actually no, I'll use the spoon. Why not? This is a big bag from Buy Whole Foods online. So 40 grams. I'm going to try and be precise. Hi Elizabeth. Good grief, I'm on your channel early for a change. Just bought a Ninja as my kitchen is being revamped. Never thought of using the Ninja for cakes. Yes, you certainly can. And actually, there is a Ninja Grill tutorial video going up tomorrow at 6. I was getting that sorted today. So that's filmed by one of our associates, Sue, who's nicknamed Ninja Sue. She's got a few Ninja Foodie tutorials on the channel already. This is the first grill edition. Today I'm actually going to be using the oven. I've got the oven preheating, but you can make these in the Ninjas, either one. I'm just using the oven so that I can put all of these in one go. I would use grill, but that's in use with the pork at the moment. If you're baking with Ninjas, in the Foodie, put it lower down, so on a lower rack, and knock the temperature down by 10 degrees. For the grill, knock the temperature down by 20, and just keep an eye on it and the time as well, because it won't take as long. Obviously, it's more of a sealed unit. It heats up a lot quicker. Okay, so the coconut flour is in. You don't have to mix everything in individually, but I'm doing it this way so I don't forget anything. 20 to 30 grams of Truvia, Natvia, or Pure Via sweetener. Oh, and actually, so I've just remembered. So I do have Pure Via today. If you watched one of my previous lives, you realise that we didn't have sweetener in for a while, so I was improvising a lot. And one of the things I was improvising with was the monk fruit drops, which I said I don't have a place for you to buy them from yet. I do now. They're on our store. Yay! If you go into the food products part and you're on ingredients, you'll find them there, or just search sweetener. If you're using, you can use these in the cake. I'm just using this because we've got lots of this in. So it's 20 to 30 grams of Pure Via. I'm going to go with 25. It's to taste, but obviously because I'm adding a bit of coffee in, I'll add a little bit more than normal for us. I'm going to add the vanilla extract. This is just the Aldi one. For the Keto Police, yes, this contains sugar, but we're only using a teaspoon in a batch of 12 muffins. We do occasionally get some posh vanilla, which is lower in sugar. But to be honest, it's not worth it for us. Just seeing you make a coffee cake. By sheer coincidence, I have one in the oven right now. I've done all coconut flour this time and half a sweetener. Lovely. Yeah, this was requested on my last live, so here I am making it. Yeah, if you were using the monk fruit drops instead of the sweetener, instead of the powdered sweetener, I'd go maybe 5 drops to start with, and then taste the mix and add to taste. It's like if you've ever used stevia drops before, it's like that in its sweetness, but it doesn't have an aftertaste, in my opinion. Okay, baking powder is the last thing, and then coffee. So, teaspoon of baking powder. If you're looking for the written recipe, I have linked it in the description of both. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you'll find it there. Or just head to the website and search coffee cake. If you're looking at the recipe on the website, I'm doing like 2/3 of the batch. So I'm doing the original batch size rather than the one that's in FS with the added coffee in. Purely because we don't need that much cake. I'm making like mince pies, I think, tomorrow for a video. So yeah, we really don't need more. Do we have any of your?
No.
So
No.
shall I use? I'll use
You use that one, yeah.
Okay, now for the coffee part of the coffee cake. You literally just want a teaspoon of coffee, add it into the mix, starting to get it mixed in, and then add to taste. We quite like quite a strong coffee taste, but other people might just want a hint of it. If I was smart, I would have added this in with the cream because it would have dissolved a lot easier. But I'm not, so I didn't. The mix is slowly getting darker. It goes almost like a caramel sort of colour. Just going to switch to the spatula because the mix is getting a bit thicker now. The thing with, if you're using a lot of coconut flour in cakes, the longer you let the mix sit, the thicker it gets. which can be good, but also it can be
Not good.
misleading if you're looking at a mix and you're like, oh wow, this is really thick all of a sudden, I need to add more moisture, and then you end up with a flat cake because you've added too much moisture. So, as Michelle says, trust the process. Yeah, so Nicola, I might be doing this totally wrong. There might be an art to it, and you've dissolved the coffee in first. You could, I suppose, because obviously there's a lot of cream in this recipe. Put the cream to one side, put the coffee in, give that a mix, and allow that to heat up. But to be honest, I've always had success doing it this way as well. I don't think you can see, but it's a lot darker now. It definitely looks like a coffee cake, which is always good when that's what you're making. Okay, so I said in the description that I was going to sprinkle these with cacao nibs, and then I realised we don't have any more cacao nibs. So, what do you want to do? Chocolate chips, or flaked almonds on top, or there's some jam that I can put on top?
Flaked almonds.
Flaked almonds. So that's in one of the boxes you brought back.
You've also got pecans in there.
Oh, actually, yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, big box of random bits. We've got some pecan halves and some flaked almonds. I'm going to sprinkle these on top of the mix once they're in the cases. Kind of like, it was Michelle's recipes that first got me thinking about this. She did a butterscotch, that butterscotch vanilla cake thing with flaked almonds on top, and it really worked. So I'll be using that. Alright, so both mixes look the same sort of consistency. They're easily pourable, but obviously they do have a bit of thickness to them now. The ground almonds one, I suppose it depends on the type of ground almonds you have. But the ones that we use tend to make it a little bit more grainy. You can't really notice it in the cake, but we just prefer the texture of the coconut flour because it's finer out of the bag. But it's up to you. Both of them will look fairly similar. Where's my spoon gone? So now it's literally just a case of dividing it between cases, and then we can sprinkle on some of the additions. Obviously, you can add like chocolate chips in now, or walnuts if you had any, but we don't. So I'm just going to start off making each case about 2/3 full. We'll see how many I get. I don't think I'll probably get 12 out, but we'll see. Elizabeth, you are smart, Ella. You're teaching me to cook. It's a mammoth task in itself.
Yeah.
I'm learning on the job here. It helps when I've made how many cookbooks in the last couple of years?
Yeah.
Most of my cooking knowledge has come from writing those. Hi, Sue. How you doing? Okay, looks like I'll get about 10 out of this. You can, if you want to be more specific with the macros, weigh out the mix and make sure you've got, it's normally about 40 grams per cake. Just going to use the spatula to get the last couple of bits.
Move from there.
Ooh, cake, yeah. I'm taking a break from cake in my next live. I'll be making linseed pittas, I've decided. Because I really like them. They make a really nice lunch. You can whack them in a panini press to cook them first, but also when you come to fill them, obviously they toast really nicely. But they also freeze well. So I've been making them as a bit of meal prep for myself. Okay. So 10 out of that. And before they go in the oven's preheating at 180. I'm just going to do some with pecans on, some with flaked almonds. I'm just going to break up the pecans a little bit more and just sit them on top, because obviously as the cake bakes, it will kind of absorb the nuts and make sure they don't move anywhere, but they'll still stay on top. That's the thing, the mix is thick enough that things just stand up in it. So there you go.
Could do with the other tripod. Take a picture of this of the pork.
Oh wow, nice.
I'm just going to shred it.
Do you know what, actually? If you join the StreamYard, you can come in and I can put your camera on.
Where's the...
Yeah, it's that. Why do you need a tripod?
Well, because I need 2 hands to shred it. So
Oh, right, okay, I get you. So yeah, final stages of pulled pork are happening in the background. The grill's been on all afternoon and I've just been smelling the pork joint roasting away. Okay, so 5 with pecans and some with flaked. Oh, I forgot these flaked almonds were really fine. So I don't want to pile them high because I want them to toast. I prefer the flaked almonds from the shop compared to these. Maybe it's just a weird batch, but these are they're almost like coconut flakes. That's how thin they are. Do the linseed pitters have that fishy smell and taste? So it depends. For me, no. But to start with, linseed did have that kind of. It's fishy because of the omega-3s in it, isn't it? Is that that's why?
We associate it as a fishy smell.
Yeah. So I just one day I just decided to try linseed bread again and found out I liked it, and it was just because my taste buds had changed. So if you're not a fan, actually for the linseed pitters, you can reduce the amount of linseed and sub it for some ground almonds. I've put a note on the recipe. You can go up to about half and half. So let's say you use 100 grams of linseed normally, you'd be able to do 50 linseed, 50 almonds. Any more, and it starts to lose its structure a bit. But up to that point, it's okay. All right. Coffee cakes with some chopped pecans and some flaked almonds on top. Those are going to go in the oven for about 15 minutes until they're firm and golden. So these cases, these silicone cases, bake really well. So they bake quite evenly. One thing about the Ninja, we got it out yesterday actually when we were clearing the living room out. We found the Ninja cupcake cases. You know, it's like silicone tray. It's so thick that it doesn't bake the cake. So you just got to be aware that not all silicone cupcake cases will work. But for these, we really, really like them. And they work a lot better than paper ones because cake doesn't stick. So, oven, 15 minutes. And as always, I will post a photo of them when they're done. I think Dad's just trying to film.
Yeah, do you want to just film it on here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do a try. Come on, cooking with.
I might see. Do you want me to see if I can zoom in on this side as well?
Yeah, that's what I'm after.
So this is the pulled pork that's coming out the grill. There you go. You're on screen.
You won't be able to see me back there. Oh no. Hang on, let's start that. There you go. We'll post a video afterwards. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll post the video
So-
on Facebook.
Ready?
They can see the colour.
Right, okay, so you can see the colour. So I've separated, so there was a whole joint. I've just separated it, so it's cooked. So that's the skin, which I'm just making, because obviously there's a big layer of fat at the bottom underneath. So I'm just cooking that to make it crispy. I'm actually going to take everything out because there's a layer of fat, quite a lot of oil in the bottom of the Ninja. So I'm going to take it all out. So all of this is the main part of the meat. There's still a layer of fat there, but because I've had it cooking, it's all going crispy. So be careful if you're going to do this, because it's hot. But the oil that's in here now is perfect to use when you're next frying something, or when you're next.
Get quite a bit out of it, don't you?
You get a lot of oil out of that. So there you go. That's all the oil that's come out of the pork. Something like 100 and about 100 mils in total. So I'm going to put the meat back.
Stephen says, I remember when we had a new oven and the light worked and you could see through the door. Because you can see the cupcakes baking in the bottom.
So I've got the pork back in, and actually I know you can't see this now, but on my camera, the pork's just now falling to pieces.
Yeah, just shredding.
So I'm just shredding it with the fork and my little plastic silicone tool.
Yeah, all silicone in the
So
grill.
it shows how tender the pork is. It's just shredding. And I'm just going to tip some barbecue sauce over it. So you probably can't see that in there, but a bit of barbecue, and then we're going to let it cook for a few more minutes. And then I'll combine it all. I'll probably cook the crackling down a little bit more as well. Right, so that's going to go on for a few more minutes.
I suppose you can use a little bit of the oil to cook the cabbage and the broccoli, can't you?
I would do, but I think it might be too heavy for you.
Oh, okay. So you
So I
just
wasn't
stick with
going
butter.
to. Yeah, so you can.
Sorry.
Wow.
Zoom out.
So there's the pork crackling.
Oh, they just saw all the boxes piled up in the dining room then.
So actually, this part's actually done no problem at all. So it's nice and crispy, but it's actually quite soft as well.
I was looking.
Mm.
Can I have big crisps?
This bit's still got some meat and fat there. Just needs to cool down so we can sort of shred it off.
So you done?
Well, let's go fry the veg.
Cool. Okay then. So I'll end this now, and look out for photos. I normally post photos on YouTube as well of the result of the live, but I reckon I'll stick a photo of the barbecue pulled pork in as well. So stay tuned for that. If you don't already follow us on Facebook and Instagram, please do at Keto Fitness Club. There you go. Plug's done. We'll see you on Tuesday. No, Michelle's live on Tuesday morning. Michelle's making cinnamon apple fritters.
Nice.
Low carb version. So that's at 8 a.m. on Tuesday because for some reason she wants to do it first thing. You're live on Thursday making corned beef quiche.
Corned beef quiche. So many people have asked me about corned beef quiche. So I thought I'll do it on the live, which means we've got to write a recipe.
We've got the recipe, yeah. I was going to say, by that point, the recipe will be in the library. So see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.